What's up, guys? In this video, you're going to learn the top pros and cons to living in Aurora, Colorado.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Will Grimes, this is Eli Schmidt. Welcome to our Living in Denver, Colorado YouTube page. If you guys find any of this content valuable, if you'd like to share with any of your friends or family, please click subscribe on the channel now. Share it with as many people as you can. There should also be a phone number if you guys see that. We are local real estate agents here in Colorado, so if you guys have any specific questions that pertain to you, please feel free to reach out. Yes, one of us will answer that call. That being said, we're gonna get right into the top pros and cons of living in Aurora, Colorado. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna start with all the pros we think are most important. First on the list, it's cheaper than Denver. It's still close to Denver, and it's still close proximity to a lot of different things. The airport, the mountains, Colorado Springs, but you don't have to pay the price for Denver.
The biggest difference that you're going to find as far as affordability between Aurora and Denver is housing, including rent and mortgages. So if you are wanting to move to Colorado, but the cost of living is a little bit higher than you're probably used to, Aurora is a phenomenal option. It's personally one of my favorite cities in Colorado.
And we're gonna kind of get into what Aurora really looks like here in just a little while, but there's a lot of older communities that are up and coming that are getting redone. You have a whole brand new community in the southeast Aurora side. You've got tons of different options as far as single family homes, townhomes, condos, but again, proximity wise, we are just southeast of Denver, and to travel to the airport or to the Springs or to the mountains, even though you're on that southeast side of Denver, you can still have within an hour, you can be within the mountains. So definitely a pro. All right, number 2 on the pro list, because Aurora is the 3rd largest city in Colorado, and because it's been around for a long time, and because it's well developed, even though you've got some newer sides that are still getting developed right now on the southeast side, some of those have been here for as long as a decade. So shopping, whether it's food and drink, it's groceries, it's getting your hair cut, it's a liquor store, whatever it may be, you literally, from the far north end of Aurora to the far southeast end of Aurora, you can't go a quarter mile without finding a gas station on every intersection or grocery stores, bars and grills, food that you guys might need. So as far as living out here and not wanting to commute to Denver, but still having some fun things to do in the evening, whether it's a movie theater or grabbing a bite to eat, still a great place to be.
It's very true, very true. And you know, what's nice about living in Denver is, yeah, you can walk a lot of places, right? But if you're moving outside of Denver, nothing beats Aurora as far as having a grocery store right around the corner, having a gas station just down the street, having all the major chain restaurants that are around there. And Aurora is massive, like he said, but in addition to that, you don't have to go very far for what you're looking for.
Correct. So there's definitely some nice areas that surround Denver. We're going to get to those in some other videos as well. However, convenience-wise, it's really hard to beat Aurora.
The 3rd pro, there is a ton of stuff to do for you and your family.
Movie theaters, museums, the old Colfax Theater,
Yep.
A lot of historical things in northern Aurora. And I think this is something that's just consistent Colorado-wide, guys. Whatever suburbia or whatever outskirt you are outside of Denver, all the parks and creeks and water life. So for example, in Aurora, you have Cherry Creek Reservoir, you also have Aurora Reservoir. Just a ton of stuff to do, not only for yourself, whether it's active and exercising, or you want to bring your family, or you just want to go hang out and read a book and relax in a park. You literally cannot go more than a mile without finding some stuff like that. So definitely a benefit to Aurora. It's vast. You have as much of that as you can handle without having to travel too far. It's right there in your city, Aurora.
And in addition to that, speaking specifically to families, if you live in one of the Aurora suburban neighborhoods, chances are you've got a badass rec center. You can go, you can hit the gym, you can hit the pool. There's a ton of dog parks out here. Aurora is really, really big on the community living, and you see those rec centers everywhere.
Especially in your southeastern portion where things can be a little bit newer and they're a little bit more in tune with what more new communities or people want from a neighborhood. All right, guys, those are your top 3 pros. Now we're gonna lead into your top 3 cons.
Yes.
First one on the list, we got to address it right out of the gate, and that's the stigma of Aurora. So a lot of people here call it North Aurora, or what about Aurora, or Aurora.
Just Aurora as a whole.
Aurora.
Yeah. If you're not from here, you probably don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Or maybe you do. There's
Yeah.
been some things in the news that have happened. The bottom line is, when we talk about Aurora, you've got a northern side, which is what people call Aurora, or North Aurora. Crime rates tend to be a little bit higher than the average, so definitely some difficulties there. However, there's a lot of rebuilding there with Anschutz campus of the College Medical Center, Children's Medical Center, so some things to look forward there. We've seen neighborhoods at appreciation levels as high as 16% over there. So yes, there are some challenges, but a lot of things to look forward to. The bottom line is great appreciations over there. Yes, it is a little bit older. You might have to be a little bit more patient, but proximity to Denver-wise, phenomenal. The flip side of that coin is going to be, you like that? Flip side of that coin is going to be Southeast Aurora. We have parts of Centennial that kind of pop in and out of Southeast Aurora, but it's night and day as far as being by Aurora Reservoir. Homes upwards of $2-3 million. The average out there is 5.5, sometimes 6.5, depending on the neighborhood. Very new, very modern, very family oriented, very park oriented, very trail oriented. Night and day as far as what they look like. But a lot of times when people hear that name Aurora or that city name Aurora, they tend to identify the North Aurora with Aurora. Yeah. In reality, Southeast Aurora could not be further from the truth.
It's so vast that it only makes sense that you're going to have these drastic ranges from north to south and east to west Aurora. We work with a lot of people that are moving in state, and there's been a couple of them that have mentioned out of the gate, yeah, you know, I really haven't heard good things about Aurora. We kind of avoid that area.
Aurora, that's what they say.
But then what do we do? We end up taking them to Aurora. Hey, hear us out. Give us one day. We take them to Aurora. They end up falling in love. More than a handful of times we've had clients who said, hey, we're not moving to Aurora. We take them out there, show them some other areas that they had no idea existed, and they love it.
Correct. So if you're from Colorado but you're unfamiliar with Aurora, or if you're moving from out of state and you're curious, keep an open mind. Definitely make sure you expose yourself to all angles, especially Southeast Aurora, if that's something that you feel could be good for your family or for you.
All right, guys. So number 2 on the con list for Aurora, lack of scenery.
Correct. We're not talking about some desert town in Nevada or something in Flagstaff, Arizona. Not that Flagstaff is that bad, but anytime in Arizona, you do have mountain views from Aurora, especially Southeast Aurora, because the elevation gets a little higher and it tends to look down as it looks west. However, as far as anything inside of that city, like a Boulder, like a Colorado Springs, no, you don't have mountains or huge foothills or huge trails or any type of mountain life actually in Aurora, nor do you have a downtown. Aurora tends to be very suburban. You do have some community centers, but you don't have like a Denver Tech Center. You do have Colfax, which has the old Fox Theater in it, but you don't have like a ton of mountains or foothills centrally located in that city.
However, we were just out touring some new builds yesterday in Southeast Aurora, overlooking the reservoir. Breathtaking views. You could see the mountains, you could see the reservoir. It was phenomenal.
The wind's blowing, it literally feels like lake life.
If you're moving here, we just want to make you guys aware, if you're checking out Aurora, you may have to be a little more selective with the home if scenery is one of your top priorities.
Correct. All right, guys. Third on our list for cons is going to be the crime rate. Now, it's not significantly higher, but Aurora as a whole, it tends to be a little bit above the average as far as the national average of crime. That could be due to it because it's a large city. Could be due to it's somewhat close to Denver, which is an even larger city. Most of your crime tends to be in that northern area. From my lens. However, it is slightly higher than average, so it is something that you're going to want to consider depending on where in Aurora you want to live. And if you guys have any specific questions on that, we can lead you to the right websites that you guys can research and look at crime rates and crime activity and decide for yourself what's acceptable, what's not.
And again, just to elaborate on that, Aurora being one of the older cities in Colorado, it is one of the most developing right now still. So a lot of these crime rates, this is off of old data, you're seeing these progressively get better and better and better as these areas get redeveloped and rejuvenated. Things are improving, so again, don't let that deter you. These same neighborhoods with maybe higher crime rate are still appreciating like crazy. So there's a lot of pros to kind of go along with that, but again, just something that we thought you guys should be aware of.
Do your research, find out for yourself, find out what you're comfortable with and what you're not. Compare it to other cities nationally or in Colorado. Make sure you guys feel comfortable. All right, guys, bonus round. Before we let this video come out, we could not let this go without mentioning this. What am I talking about?
Schools, man.
More specifically, Cherry Creek School District. So definitely one of the pros of living in Aurora is nothing against Aurora Public Schools. That's where I win. Take it how you want. However, Cherry Creek School District 5, one of the highest credited school districts in all of America. So A super plus, you also have Douglas County Schools, super southeast in Aurora for a little bit, but it's primarily Cherry Creek Schools. Everything about that is phenomenal. And what I do like about those schools as well is you have a ton of parks, outdoor activity that you can do around those schools. So if you live in those neighborhoods and you want your kid to go outside and have some fun, the school's not in the inner city where it's just kind of for school and there's maybe some gated basketball hoops. There's a lot of outdoor activity, tracks, trails, obstacle courses, a ton of stuff for kids to do even when they're not there.
And if you don't have any children, this is still very, very important. If you're moving to Colorado, Aurora, and you're thinking about buying a home, maybe you don't necessarily care about the school district because you don't have any little kiddos. However, where it does matter is on the resale side. Cherry Creek Schools is one of the best things you could say about a house that you're selling in Colorado. Again, a ton of people are looking for that. So even if you don't have kids, still very important.
Guys, it's huge, especially from the real estate side. Keeping that business hat on is super important, right? So what can you change? What can you not change about a home? If a home has a fancy kitchen and a nice backsplash, hey, that's awesome, right? And if it doesn't have it, we can change that. You can always add those things. What you cannot change is the location of a home. Is it a corner lot or is it in one of the highest accredited school districts in the country? So again, whether you have kids or not, whatever can increase your value of your home over time adds to equity in your pocket. Super plus. So as you guys are going over your personal wants and your needs, right? And that's great. Don't forget to put on that business hat when it comes to real estate and making that full circle decision, right? I'm joking, but in all seriousness, make sure that you still have that business hat on when you guys are picking things as far as where you want to live.
100%. And again, thank you guys for watching this video on the pros and cons of living in Aurora, Colorado. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We do a ton of videos on living in Colorado and the surrounding areas. There should be a number on the screen right now. We love getting text messages from you, especially him. Phone calls, emails, whatever you guys need, hit us up. We're here for you.
See you guys.